Hello, welcome to subtracting integers with number lines and changing them to addition problems. So in this lesson, our goal is to take what we learned yesterday about number line movements and use them to create addition problems. Now the key thing I want to point out here is that when we're creating these addition problems, it's not changing the answer to our problem. So for example, in 5 minus 3, we know that that's equal to 2, right? So just note that when we change this problem to an addition problem, our answer is still going to be 2. That doesn't change. We just need to practice changing it to an addition problem. So let's review what the number line movements look like. So if I have a number line, I know that my first number tells me I need to move in a positive 5 direction. Okay, so I start at 0 and I go to 5 because that's what the first number tells us. Now, in our lesson yesterday, we learned that subtraction means we move in the opposite direction. So opposite direction. So we're subtracting a positive 3. Normally, if we were adding a positive 3, we would go to the right. But in this case, because it's subtraction, we're going to go to the left. So I'm going to move to the left 2 places. And I see that makes sense, right? 5 minus 3 is 2. So it makes sense that I went to the left. Okay, but we need to transfer this to an addition problem. So let's look at the lengths of our lines again, right? So from 0 to 5, that was a positive 5 movement. And from 5 to 2, that was a negative 3 movement. So my addition problem is just those two numbers added together. So 5 plus negative 3 would be my addition problem. Please note, this still equals 2. Okay, that part does not change. I'm not changing what it equals. I'm just changing how I write it. Okay, so 5 minus 3 and 5 plus negative 3 are still going to give me the same value of 2. So go ahead, pause the video if you need to so you can copy all of that down. Let's take a look at number 2. So for number 2, I know my first movement is going to be to a negative 5 direction. So I'm going to start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll just put some numbers over here as well. So I start at 0, I go to negative 5, which puts me right here. Now, my subtraction problem says I'm subtracting negative 3. Well, typically if I was adding, I would keep going to the left. But because I'm adding, I am now going to go to the right. So I'm going to go to the right 3 spots, and I end up at negative 2. Okay, so I know this is going to equal negative 2. Now let's think about what our number line movements were. So first I went in a negative 5 direction, and then I went in a positive 3 direction. So my addition problem is just those two numbers added together. Negative 5 plus 3. Again, this still equals negative 2. Okay, that part doesn't change. So if you need to catch up, pause the video, copy this down, and then I would also like for you to go ahead and try number 3 on your own. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at number 3. So number 3 starts with a negative 4 movement. So I know I'm going to end up on the negative side. So let's go ahead. All right, so I start at 0, I go to negative 4. All right, and I think of my movement. So remember, if I was adding positive 2, I'd go to the right. Instead, because I'm subtracting positive 2, I'm going to go to the left. So I go to the left, 2 more, and I end up at negative 6. So negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. Now I need to write my addition problem. So first I went in a negative 4 direction, then I went in a negative 2 direction. So my addition problem would be negative 4 plus negative 2. And of course, this still equals negative 6. That does not change. All right, pause the video again if you need to catch up. Let's go ahead and look at the next problem. Pause the video. I want you to go ahead, try number 4, 5, and 6 on your own. And once you do that, restart the video and you can check to make sure you're doing it correctly. All right, let's take a look at number 4. So 4 says 5 minus negative 4. So let's go ahead and put 0, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, I start at 0. I need to go in a positive 5 direction, so I end up there. And then I'm going to move the opposite of a negative 4 direction, which is a positive 4 direction. And in doing so, I end up at positive 9. So 5 minus negative 4 is equal to positive 9. Number line movements, I start off with a positive 5. Then I add on into positive 4. So my addition problem is just 5 plus 4. And you can guess that equals 9. Let's take a look at number 5. Negative 3 minus 1. Start at 0, go in a negative 3 direction. Then I'm going to go in the opposite of a positive 1 direction, which is a negative 1 direction. And I end up at negative 4. So negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. Number line movements, first it was a negative 3, then it was a negative 1. So my addition problem would be negative 3 plus negative 1. And you can guess that still equals negative 4. All right, number 6. All right, so negative 2 tells me first I move to the left 2. And then I'm going to move in the opposite of a positive 9 direction, which is a negative 9, which puts me all the way at negative 11. So I had my negative 2, then I had my negative 9. So my addition problem would be negative 2 plus negative 9. All right, so let's go ahead and do this last one. Go ahead, pause the video and finish it up. All right, negative 8 plus negative 10, or minus negative 10, sorry. 0, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that should be enough. All right, so first I move in a negative 8 direction, which puts me all the way over here. And then I'm going to move in the opposite of a negative direction, which is a positive direction. So I'm going to move all the way to positive 2. So negative 8 minus negative 10 is positive 2. Okay, think of my number line movements. So I have a -8, a +10. So my addition problem would just be -8 plus 10. Now I do want to talk about this really fast. Some of you may be thinking, what? -8 minus -10, how am I ending up with a +2? So think about it this way. A couple lessons ago, we talked about money, right? And we talked about how negative money is talking about being in debt. So if I were to think of this situation as I am in debt $8, right? I currently owe someone $8. Let's say I owe my mom $8 and she takes away $10 of debt, right? She's taking away an extra $2 of debt. So that gives me an extra $2. So think of it as taking away debt, and because you're taking away more debt than what you currently have, you end up with extra money. So think of it that way. Now, characteristics, overall characteristics of changing to addition, okay? So just remember, subtraction is always an opposite movement of addition, something we talked about yesterday. So this tells us that when we have a subtraction problem and we want to change it to addition, we have to take the opposite of the second number. So when changing to addition, take the opposite of the second number. So for example, if I had -4 minus 3, right now 3 is a positive number, right? That's a subtraction sign. You need some kind of operator between the two numbers, so that has to be a subtraction sign. So therefore, when I change it to addition, this becomes its opposite. So it becomes -3. If I had -5 minus -6, again, when I change it to addition, because this is negative, it becomes its opposite, which is +6. Then from there, you can just follow the rules for addition. Okay, -4 plus -3 is -7. -5 plus 6 is +1. Okay, we can also say -4 minus 3 is -7, and -5 minus -6 is +1. They equal the same thing. It's just easier to think in terms of addition than it is in terms of subtraction. So that's why we rewrite it as addition. So that's it for this video. Just always remember, do the opposite of the second number. Whatever that second number is, change it to its opposite. If it's positive, change it to negative. If it's negative, change it to positive. If you're having a hard time deciding if it's positive or negative, try boxing the number to help you. And when you box the number, do not box the operator sign. Keep that there. Just box the rest of it. Don't forget, take a picture of your notes in Notability. Make sure the picture is the size of your screen and submit it to Canvas. Thanks for watching, everyone.